from Luke's gospel, think with me of chapter 24. Remember chapter 24? Jesus has been dead now 3 days. The disciples are on the way to Emmaus, on the road to Emmaus, and here comes the risen Christ beside them, and He comes up beside them. They don't recognize Him. Jesus talks with them. He opens their minds to the Scriptures. He says to them from the Scriptures, He says, was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer? And they're beginning to get this. They're beginning to piece it together. They get to where they're going. They ask Jesus to stay with us. Stay with us, Jesus. And they compel Jesus to stay with them. And then Jesus stays with them. And then we find that phrase that in Luke chapter 24 where it says that He was made known to them in the breaking of bread. Now that's interesting. He was made known to them in the breaking of bread. What does that mean? I think perhaps one thing it means is that they were fasting. Because remember, their master's gone. Yeah, they've heard stories. The women told them some stories about the tomb being empty, the stone rolled away, but we couldn't find evidence of that. We're not sure we believe that. And so imagine their state of mind. We don't have to imagine it. They tell us they were so downhearted. So I think it's very likely that they were fasting. And then Jesus makes Himself known to them as He breaks their fast. Jesus is saying to them, your fast is over. I'm here. I'm back. I told you you would have sorrow. I told you I would be torn from you. And I told you that your sorrow will be turned to joy, for I would come back. Now your fast is over. Now, if it's not clear there, I think it becomes a little bit clearer in the following episode, a few verses later, when then the disciples rush back to Jerusalem. They come to the upper room and they tell their news. We saw Jesus on the road. And they say to Him, we saw Him too. And then Jesus is there. And do you remember that account in Luke chapter 24? While Jesus is there in the upper room, while they were still disbelieving for joy and were marveling, He said to them, have you anything here to eat? They gave Him a piece of broiled fish, and He took it and ate it before them. Now, I think that perhaps they too were fasting. I mean, what more appropriate time to fast? The one whom we thought was going to deliver Israel turned out to be a fraud, turned out to be a sham. We believed Him. We believed His words. We thought He was different. What better time to fast? And could it be that now the risen Savior comes and says to them, your fast is over because I'm back. Give me some fish. Let's break this fast right now.